Welcome back to the Aquitaine Ocean City project, where some things have changed since the last episode. I'm talking about assets. I've changed some of the vehicle assets to make them more modern and futuristic, even though I don't think hover cars are really going to be a thing. Just pretend they have wheels. I just wanted the futuristic design. I've changed some of the other assets also in the city, and I've expanded a little bit. So I'm going to give you a quick update on what I've changed. Hopefully I won't forget anything. So we've still left this central business district open for development, but we now have some luxury brands that have come to settle and build some shops. You know, we have Lexus, we have Giorgio Armani, which has a very disproportionately large shop, perhaps. But anyway, it wasn't the main focus of our current separatist government, but they they wanted to attract some tourists nonetheless, and this was a very lucrative deal we could do. But otherwise, yeah, the district is pretty open still. But we could invest a little bit in some tourism infrastructure, some museums, an aquarium. So I've used some custom designs from the workshop because I preferred them to the default designs. And we seem to be having an anarchy problem, which I have to solve. For some reason it's loaded in all of the trees, but I know how to solve that now. Hang on. Okay, we're back, and I fixed the trees, normally, hopefully. So first of all, I've developed these parks around our entertainment district, our leisure district. So we have here's more of a festival-y area where they can hold concerts, and then you have places here to hang out around it. You can get a hot dog, you've got some bins and everything. Here we have a more wild area with a little covered bike garage, and I've actually installed these covered bike garages at every single station, and even some more bike parking here. Even though the citizens can't use them, it's always good to encourage biking, even if it's just in your imagination. Here we've got more areas to work out, to hang out, even a little bee section with a little shaded bench, because who doesn't want to sit next to bees? Sand pit, of course, so and some playground things, so when you come out of a nightclub drunk at night, you can bash your head in a playground. We have everything here at the Aquitaine Ocean project. And more park here, little stands for food, and skate park here, beach volley, because you can never have too much beach volley. Oh, and this kind of ride here where you can climb all the way up here to look over the city and then fall. At the beach, at the front, we've expanded the park quite substantially all the way to here. So now there's a huge green forested space, and we've used a new mod that allows us to paint in forests composed of different things to make a nicer forest, a more realistic forest, bushes and different types of trees, obviously still pine trees. And then you reach the dunes here, which I've reformed as well a little bit to be a little bit more rough and a little bit more realistic, and there's a walkway all the way along the front there, so that's very nice. And normally there's even somewhere to park your bike, so everything has been covered. This park I think hasn't changed too much since the last time. Everything is flowing nicely. But this district has expanded quite a bit. This is still the Rift district, Quartier de la Faille, but we've expanded a little bit with some additional commercial areas, some additional residential areas, and this is a new district called the Libertas District. Libertas, liberty in Latin, I think. And it has for a moment 2 big commercial towers, but we'll have to see what we're doing with this after. We have a little Ibis hotel here. We have some things, some services related to the road. We have a car shop, Hertz car rental, Lidl, of course, very nice. This is a nice asset I found for primary school, a futuristic primary school. I thought that would make a difference, make it a change. And then here we have a futuristic high school. I thought it fit in a little bit with also with this skate park. So we're going for a different atmosphere in this district, maybe to the eco district, so that everything is not too uniform. I also didn't mention we have these eco domes here, which are just a nice touristy feature, and they fit in very well with the general theme of our city. I can't remember if I introduced these, but this is a vertical farming station. This is pushed by our separatist government that wants us to be more food autonomous. So here we've started a vertical farming program, but remains to be decided if this is actually ecologically sustainable. And yeah, otherwise we have just a few more houses, but things have not changed a lot. The main difference is that I've added a lot of detailing. So if you look in, there's parks with dense vegetation. There's vegetation along these lines here that kind of make a park as well. There's these bike stands at every station, covered bike stands, so that people can leave their bike locked up and not have to worry about the rain. So just detailing like this all the way along. Here there's not so much detailing yet. I have to get onto this. I'm not quite sure what I want to do. Maybe do something a little bit different. And this you've already seen normally. So yeah, I'm just... oh, and also I've added these kind of vegetation areas around the interchanges and trees. It shouldn't reduce visibility too much, and it just makes the whole area more pleasant. Same here, I've added trees all the way underneath the road. So that's quite a steep exit there. You better have good brakes. Yeah. So this is our starting point. We're now at 37,000 people and growing slightly. And we have almost 500,000 sell, but our profits kind of dried up, so we have to look at our economy. Yeah, we're going now negative. We'll probably go fluctuate back positive, hopefully, soon. But we need to think about our economics, because at the moment, this is not what the separatist government wants. They don't want us to be non-self-sufficient. And we also have a crisis on our hands. We have a refugee camp that's formed near our train station. Between the highway and the train station. This is a camp, a kind of shanty town of refugees arriving from sub-Saharan Africa, where there's been a huge drought, the famous 2042 drought. And so there's been a lot of debate in our government on how to deal with this. So do we ask for the country, for France, to take on these refugees because we're a small city and it's not our responsibility, we're a different project? Or do we try to build some form of public housing and set up a system to try and integrate these new arrivals into our city? And after rolling a dice, what came out was that the decision was made with agreement of both the separatist and pro-government parties to try to integrate and provide support to this vulnerable community here, where we have 1,400 people, which seems like a lot, but this is in fact just 360 households. And there are buildings that hold, for example, 50 households. So when you convert like a sprawling shanty town like this into actual quality, high density public housing, it doesn't take so much space actually. So it shouldn't be too difficult to find some shelter. So we're entering in discussions with these refugees in order to discuss. They have nice cars actually. Yeah, this is not so realistic perhaps. But yeah. So we have to discuss with them as well what they are comfortable with. We don't want to put everyone together in one area, because then we create a kind of ghetto. At the same time, they might want to build a community and support each other, so we don't want to also separate them too much either. So we can make what we could do is make some public housing that they can move in to temporarily, and then find normal housing, non-public housing in the city later on. And then have the public housing not too far away from each other, but spread out a little bit, so it's just not just one area. And we'll use land that isn't super valuable, obviously, because we are limited in our resources, but we will still provide good quality services and a good access to the rest of the city, proximity to public transport. And the best district we have that's open for development right now, immediately, in an emergency, is this Libertas District, this Freedom District, which has some commercial operations, all the services you need, but no residents at the moment. So this is the perfect location for some public housing. It's not the most valuable area, as you can see, but that's good, because that means we can do this operation affordably. And I didn't mention it earlier, but we have this park here, which is the Green Barrier Park, which has a mound of earth between the highway and the residence, and then a lot of greenery to kind of protect from the sound and pollution of the highway. It's not ideal, but it's quite a nice quality green space. And even living here, you have easy access to the beach, easy access to the rest of the city, because you can walk straight to this metro station here. So I think it's a good location, and I think it's a fair deal, and I think they'll be happy to settle this area. If we make this offer to them, it'll be better than the shantytown, for sure. So I think a good asset for this kind of public housing, it's something that happens very often. I mean, it's happened a lot in France. This is from France, actually, I think from Paris. This is a bar in French, and this is the kind of typical thing you would lodge people at an affordable price in. So this is one way we can go. Another solution would be to make a series of these kind of low-rise buildings here, but I think they would also obviously house a lot less people, and we have over 1,000 people to house. I think even let's check again how many people we need to house. I think we need to find accommodation for 1,400 people. So yeah, that's gonna be quite a lot of space. So I think we could at least make one of these big bars, because this is the kind of compromise we're going to have to make realistically if we want to be able to house everybody. So here we have some public accommodation built, and this will already house 180 households, so that's a lot of people. We could also place this one here. That should accommodate the rest of the refugees. This is okay, but it kind of blocks the view to the greenery from this high school. I don't really like this kind of disposition above the high school like this. Here we're kind of putting everything into one block, although it's not too bad. I mean, you're right next to a park. It's not too bad. Maybe that's the most reasonable way of doing it. So that's another 188 households housed. And then we put this third public housing unit here, and that should cover all of the families that we need to house from the refugee camp for now, and then they will slowly be able to move out into better accommodation when they find work, etc. We can set a system to support them temporarily while you develop the skills they need to integrate the economy, and then once they're in the economy they can find normal accommodation, and we can keep this public housing project here running so that anyone who's in need of accommodation should be able to find accommodation. And we might need to expand a bit later on and build some other projects, but these are not too this is not too bad, and it's not a huge area. It's going to be mixed with other things going on, So I think this is a good compromise between the necessity to house people quickly and provide everyone with shelter, and the necessity to do it relatively cheaply, affordably, and in a way that doesn't use too much space. I assure you that these people have moved out. I'm not bulldozing people's homes. That unfortunately does happen in this country, but this is not what's happening in the Aquitaine Ocean City project. This is a chill project. We don't bulldoze people's homes, even if their homes are illegally constructed, and these people have no money. I'm done. I could just de-zone this whole thing and let it despawn. That would make more sense. Yes, you are no longer zoned to have a refugee camp here. Now I realize I didn't even need to de-zone. I just needed to delete the paths, and then the zones would disappear. They would be de-zoned, and then they despawn. Well, I guess I'm learning this game as I'm making this series. That was incredibly efficient. Some last strongholds, some last bastions. Yes, that's right. That's right. This district is going. It doesn't exist anymore. It's gone. To Libertas. This is really weird. So the educated go here, then the well-educated go here, and the highly educated go here. So I guess they somehow, the refugees have segregated themselves based on their level of education. Maybe there's a preference thing. Definitely not our government that's done this. I just realized that all of these corridors don't have light on this end because of this building here. Maybe I should move it across slightly, or just pretend it wasn't built like this. Because obviously in real life the move it tool doesn't necessarily work like that. Okay, very good. That leaves a bit more light, a bit more space. That should be much nicer. Now it's time to develop the Libertas District. So this was all kind of additional public housing because I built it using the Reco mod, and the money came out of our pockets. So that should increase the population substantially, but it was quite expensive, especially a lot of these actually don't increase the population so much, only 6 households. These are a little bit more. These are kind of luxury public accommodation. But I guess that will make this whole city more affordable too. So now I'm zoning in also some accommodation. Ah, water problems. Why do we have a problem here? Is there like something get destroyed or something? There's enough water. Or is there? Ah, what's happening is basically this is all the water we're producing, but part of it's being produced over here on a close. Yeah, that's not a thing anymore. Yeah, it's on a closed circuit. We need to actually connect all the water up together, which means building a water line under the highway, which is always very easy to do once you've already built the highway. But that was sarcasm. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to make a line that goes all the way from over here to our main city, and then the main city will be able to take some water and sewage processing from this place here, which makes more sense because there's way too much capacity in this area. We can say that it runs kind of between two. We actually are going to run out of money here. That's not good at all. I think we're going to have to get a loan. That's not where you get a loan. This is where you get a loan. We're going to take out a private loan to avoid asking more from the state. And we don't need a lot. We can take a small loan out. We'll just take 21,000 cell, or 200,000 euros. And this loan should allow us to finish this line here, solve our problem, avoid economic collapse, and not have to borrow more money from the government, because that's really not what the current government here, city government, wants to do. And you see this district has really been built out quite a bit now. There's another one of these Dutch houses. I don't want these houses. I've got to get rid of these. I feel like I spend more and more time dezoning, rezoning, deleting ugly buildings. I think this is what happens as soon as I stop building in the eco district style. I can just let things go because the buildings always look pretty cool. As soon as I'm trying to make a different style in the district, I start having more and more ugly buildings popping in. But I should probably try and find some more district themes. Low land value. Well, let's see what we can do about that. So the answer I found is to try to make this park more higher level. I can add some restrooms in. It's a little bit excessive for what essentially is a sound barrier, but maybe if we make this park a little bit higher level, we can get more people to, well, the land area here to be a higher value. So that's the idea. Okay, we've got gazebos, we've got everything. Hopefully this will make this park better. And if this park is not better, if this park was better, then maybe it would raise the land value. I mean, they have a skate park already, they have education, they have a basketball court here. What more could they want? We could build something here maybe. What do we have that's quite small? Maybe a little plaza? No, even this is going to be too big. I don't think anything is going to fit there. It's too small. So I really don't know how I can increase the land area here, the land value here, sorry. Maybe, no, not great as a solution. Don't like that too much. Also, it's tending to be a bit far away. No, I think there's already a lot of facilities here. There's not much else I can do on that level. I think it's this highway that's lowering the land value. You know, it always has a lowering effect here. So I'm not sure what we can do about that one. I think they just have to wait it out. Hopefully the buildings won't be abandoned. A little footpath in here. We can even have a kind of little communal garden space here at the back. We'll leave plenty of open grass for people to play soccer, football, things like this. And then maybe some trees for shade. What could we put in here? Maybe a couple of pines like this. So we have now a mod rotating trees to add a bit of random variation. That makes things look a bit nicer. So yeah, we're just putting pines, you know, the native trees from around here. Just putting those in like that. And maybe have some of these, yeah, these pines like this. Okay, very nice. Row of pines. So we have some shade. Yeah, sometimes the pines, they grow in clusters like this. That's pretty good. Some shade, but also some space for children to play around with footballs and things, but very low maintenance. And this is going to be a similar kind of space, just an area. Maybe we can add some things that for people to hang out with. That can always be nice. We could add some swings also for kids. It's not really a playground, but just some things like this. I think it can be a nice addition. I don't really like these very multicolored things like this. I think you can make nice playgrounds out of wooden frames and things like that. That's what people normally would do, at least around here now. And I think it looks quite much nicer. And then we can put in some kind of picnic benches. I'm not sure how to put these in. Okay, we can put some next to the skate park, but we can put some more next to the skate park, and then have some here and here. So plenty of benches for picnics. We could add also a bench here, here, and here. So just some places to sit down, have lunch outside. There shouldn't be too much noise. Let's check the noise levels. No, noise levels are very nice. A little bit from these shops here, but in real life that wouldn't be a major source of noise. The highway would be a major source of noise, but we do have our noise barrier here in the form of this park and this mound of earth. So I think all in all, pretty good. I don't know why these guys are complaining. I wonder with this influx of population how bad this intersection here might get. Hopefully not too bad. But otherwise we filled in our mission of creating a more affordable district. Maybe too affordable for some. And these public housing units here are going to be fantastic for taking in all the refugees over there. And in the end, isn't that not the measure of our greatness as a city? Our ability to provide shelter and comfort for everybody. And if we can achieve that, that's already more than most cities. The traffic here is getting pretty bad. I added in these lines here to try to make things a little bit better over here, which it did. But it's put everything onto this roundabout here, and we seem to have like some weird node things going on. This might be my fault. Might be to do with how I have configured things. But I've been pretty open. I've said like anyone can pretty much go anywhere. So maybe I should say that these guys can go also here. Just everyone can go everywhere. Maybe this will flow. This seems a little bit better. Whoa. And also a little bit dangerous. Yeah, that seems a little bit better. Okay. Maybe that choice thing, these can be very tricky, these connection things. Sometimes it optimizes things, but sometimes it makes things worse. We have like cars despawning because their travel time has got too high, and that also is not something we want. That's very unrealistic. But the traffic is seeming to get a little bit better here. This is also a major bottleneck here. There are these people coming in here, and already a lot of people coming out of the highway here. Hopefully as this area develops, maybe it will attract some, but not really. It hasn't attracted a lot of traffic, mostly because this road is quite slow. Well, we'll have to deal with our traffic problems in the next episode. next time we'll start on the harbour, expand out maybe this way a bit too, and yeah, we'll see what the next episode brings. That will be all for this episode of the Aquitaine Ocean City project. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you next time.